everybody, it's Paige, and today's video is going to be a grocery haul plus what's for dinner. I have filmed one of these before and you guys seem to really enjoy it, so we're gonna do another one today. I am making enchilada soup for dinner tonight and I'm so excited. I originally found the recipe on Pinterest, but I have changed it and kind of adjusted it to my own liking, so I will have the original recipe linked down below as well as my personal recipe. So if you guys want to see what I got from the grocery store and how to make the best enchilada soup in the entire world, then don't forget to subscribe and give this video a thumbs up and let's go ahead and get started. All right, so here are all of our groceries. So I will start over here with the drinks. So we got some Sunkissed Zero, which we absolutely love. This is so good. Sunkissed Zero, Ginger Ale Zero, 7-Up Zero. All amazing choices. We also got some of the Starlight Zero Sugar Space flavored Cokes. These are like the little mini cans. I really like this drink as like a treat. It's very unique. It kind of tastes like cream soda, kind of tastes like cotton candy. It's weird, but I really like it. Then we got some Gatorade Zeros. This is from Walmart. Most of everything is from Walmart. There's a few things we got at Publix, but most of it is from Walmart. So we got this pack and it has orange, grape, and fruit punch. We usually get the pack that is white, blue, and pink, but they didn't have that one. So this is our selection for this time. Then we have some produce. I picked up some potatoes. If you guys saw the last What's for Dinner, I did like a seafood boil and oh my gosh, I have made the potatoes and corn from that seafood boil recipe probably like 10 to 12 times since I filmed that video, and that was when I made it for the first time. So good. So I will make like potatoes and corn, boil them up, add my seasonings, my sauce, put it in a bag, let it steam in the oven, and then just eat that just like that. And Jarvis also loves it. Sometimes he'll add shrimp to his. We've also done it with crab, and I'm a fan of the corn and potatoes. So I got some potatoes because I already have corn, so I'm gonna make that this week. I got a few bell peppers. This is for dinner tonight. We also have a few white onions. I picked up this Just Bare lightly breaded chicken breast. These are the spicy nuggets. I've seen so many people rave about these, and I saw they had a spicy one, and our Publix is usually, we got these at Publix, but our Publix is usually out of stock of this brand, but they had some, so we had to get some of those. I also have some tomato paste, some pistachios, some, oh, I didn't even realize I accidentally grabbed a vegetable broth and a chicken broth, but that's fine. That'll work. These are the spicy ones. They're not too spicy, but I don't even know if they make a difference. I just like buying the spicy because I really like spicy food. So I meant to get 2 of the spicy chicken broths, but this will still be fine. I also picked up some kidney beans and some fire roasted diced tomatoes. Usually I get different brands from Publix, but these are the options that they had at Walmart today. Then we got some meat for Jarvis. He got some top sirloin fillets and some ground chicken. We got some yogurt. This is the Dan & Lighten Fit Greek yogurt and blueberry. Some bread, some reduced fat Fiesta Blend shredded cheese from Walmart. We also got these from Walmart. These are the Halo Top fruit pops. We've never had these before, but they're only 45 calories per popsicle. These ones are only 35, and these ones are 40. So we got mango, lime, and strawberry. So hopefully these are good because we literally bought 3 flavors of them. I think they also had a coconut one. Then I got some fruit. Jarvis also got a little thing of fruit, but he's already eating that. We got some applesauce. This is the no sugar added strawberry and the no sugar added cinnamon applesauce. We got some light sour cream. You literally can't tell a difference between the light and the regular. I usually like to get the squeezy one from Publix, but we got this from Walmart. This is the only version of the light that they had in the tub. Got some bacon, some Fritos for the soup that I'm making tonight, and I'm actually doubling the recipe tonight so that I can eat it for the next few days because I've literally been craving it so much. I made it last week, but I've literally been craving it. So I got stuff for enough for 2 like batches of it basically. We also got some goldfish, some sunscreen. We got a variety of different brands. We have some Australian Gold and some Hawaiian Tropic. And then we also got some of these little variety packs of chips. They have a bunch of different ones, and Travis and I, we like to have snacks, but these are really good because they come in like a serving size and you get a ton of variety. So just good for like portion control and on-the-go snacks. And we bought a box of these a couple weeks ago and we really liked having them. So we got a few varieties here. So these will last us a really long time, but I got these at Walmart. And yeah, I'm happy to have these instead of just like a bunch of big bags of chips, because then also they stay fresher longer and stuff like that. So that's everything in the grocery haul. Let me know if you guys have any recommendations for like yummy snacks or like low sugar popsicles or desserts or anything like that. Any hidden gems at Publix or Walmart. But yeah, that's everything. I'm gonna go ahead and put the cold stuff away so that that can cool down, and then we will start working on dinner. So here are all the ingredients that you will need for the enchilada soup. So over here we have Goya black bean soup. You will drain the beans, but this is just the one that I like to use. We have red kidney beans. I saw that I had 2 of the Goya ones left, so I'm gonna use these ones today instead of the Bush's brand, but these are the 2 that I usually use. Then you need 1 can of fire roasted diced tomatoes. I'm gonna use the Hunt's one today, but this is the brand that I normally use. I get it from Publix, and I'm sure these are very similar. I guess we'll find out, but I usually use this one. So you need 1 can of these, 1 can of these, 1 can of these. You will need a 4-cup amount of chicken broth. I like to use the spicy chicken broth from Progresso, but I'm sure vegetable broth works, or regular, low sodium, any of those. You'll need some tomato paste, a white onion, a red bell pepper, some sour cream. These are the spices that I'm going to be using: cayenne, chili powder, cumin, and oregano. You don't need to use cayenne. I just really like mine spicy, so I add quite a bit of cayenne to mine. You're gonna need a little bit of butter, some garlic, and some Fiesta blend cheese, or any cheese you want, but I like the reduced fat Fiesta blend from Walmart. So let's go ahead and start making dinner. So I have my large stock pot here, and I'm gonna go ahead and turn the stove on to like a low medium heat. This burner tends to be pretty strong, so I'm only putting it on like a 1 to 2. But basically, low medium heat. We're gonna start by sauteing some onions in here. So yeah, we're going to add our butter to the pot. And like I said, I'm doubling the recipe today, but I will have the measurements for just the regular recipe in the description box. So you're gonna start with 1 tablespoon of butter. I'm using 2, but you get it. So while that is melting down, I'm gonna go ahead and dice up my onions for the regular recipe, which I believe serves, let's see. So it says the original recipe serves 6, but I don't use all of the ingredients that the original recipe calls for. So I feel like this probably serves more like 4 for just the regular recipe. So for 4 servings, you just need 1 onion. But like I said, I'm doubling it so that I can have this for lunch and dinner for the next few days because I love it that much. So I'm gonna be dicing up these 2 onions. You also need an immersion blender or a regular blender or something. I'm gonna be using an immersion blender for this recipe. I'm sure there's alternatives out there, but immersion blender is definitely the easiest way to go. Also, please don't judge my chopping skills. I am not a professional whatsoever. So, yeah. I know it's kind of loud, but now we have our onions in here, so I'm just gonna kind of continue to stir this while these cook down to be like transparent, essentially. I do not like raw onion at all personally, so I tend to cook them a little bit longer than probably necessary, but we're just gonna kind of let these sit and stir them every once in a while, and while I wait for these to cook, I'm gonna go ahead and wash my bell peppers and chop those up. So like I said, I like my onions to be really fully cooked, so I add them in just a couple of minutes before my bell pepper. So these have only been on for like 2 minutes. I have my bell pepper chopped. I'm going to add all of this to the pot and then cook it for like another 6 to 7 minutes or so. I'm gonna go ahead and add my garlic in here as well, and then continue to cook these vegetables down. Also, I wanted to mention, I probably should have started with this, but I am a super picky eater. There's very particular things that I like. I always have been a picky eater, and this is something that I tried to kind of like expand the foods that I eat. So normally I would never eat corn, which by the way, I forgot to mention, you need frozen corn. I'll show you guys. I always forget something. I usually just use the frozen corn from Publix, sweet corn, like kernel, whatever. I also have this brand here, but Publix is the one I usually use. Actually, I'm gonna need both of these, but you're gonna need a cup of frozen corn if you're following the original recipe, or like my version of the recipe. And yeah, so I didn't used to eat corn until a couple months ago when I tried this recipe. I also would never eat fire roasted tomatoes. I hate tomatoes, but I love this soup. I also didn't think I liked kidney beans, but I love it. I also don't like onion necessarily, but there's a lot of onion in this, but it's all blended up, so I feel like it just, I don't know what it is, but it tastes so good. The recipe that I originally found has like celery and carrots in it, but I still don't like either of those, and my boyfriend doesn't really like either of those either, so I just don't use celery or carrots. I just use the garlic, onion, and red bell pepper for the base of the soup. So once these vegetables finish softening up, I am going to show you what to do next. But let me show you the blender that I use. So I got this one from Costco. It was like 50 bucks. I was gonna, actually it was like $40 because I think it was on sale. But I was originally gonna buy a KitchenAid one, and it was like $100 on Amazon, but then my mom told me to go to Costco, and of course she was right. So this is what comes in the little kits. I will see if I can find this, and I will link it down below. So about $50 is the price point, but this is the attachment that you need, and I love that this detaches. It makes it so much easier to clean. So we have that, we have the base, which just looks like that, and this little set came with a few other things. It also came with this little measuring cup, and I haven't ever used this. I don't know if I will ever use it, but it's nice that that comes with it. And then it also comes with a whisk attachment, so if you don't have a mixer, like a hand mixer, you can definitely use this instead. This just attaches on to the base, and obviously it plugs in, so it's electric and it spins. It took me a few times to figure out how to use this. There's like a safety in order to turn it on, but I did figure it out. At first I was like, is this broken? But I figured it out. So when it's time for this, I will pull that out, but I just wanted to go ahead and show you because I didn't mention the immersion blender right at the beginning of the video. I'm sure if you don't have an immersion blender, you could probably dump the vegetables into a regular blender if you have one big enough, but this just makes it a lot easier. I'll show you how it works if you don't know. I didn't know how it worked until I started making this soup. So anyway, I will check back in with you guys once our onions and peppers are done, which it looks like they're softening up really nicely, so it'll only be a couple more minutes. So now that our onions and peppers are nice and softened, it's time to add the rest of our ingredients. Well, not the rest of them, but some of them. So we will be adding our fire roasted diced tomatoes, our tomato paste, our chicken broth, and our spices. So we're basically adding everything except for the beans, corn, cheese, and sour cream. This stuff will come at a later step, but all of this we will be adding right now. Okay, so we added our diced tomatoes, our chicken broth, and our spices. I'm just gonna go ahead and give that a big mix. We also added that tomato paste. So once this is all combined, we are going to bring this to a boil. Then once we bring it to a boil, we are going to let this simmer for about 10 to 15 minutes, basically until the vegetables are very soft, very tender. And once we get to that point is when we will blend everything together. I know it doesn't look super appetizing right now, but trust me, it's gonna look so much better and it's gonna taste so freaking good. Also, I'm literally the most amateur chef in the entire world, so take my direction with you know, that in mind, I guess. I have done this recipe probably 4 or 5 times now, but again, I'm not a professional. I don't really know what I'm doing. I just follow the directions and kind of adjust things to how I prefer. So once we get this to a boil and it's done simmering, I will check back in with you guys to show you how to blend everything together. So our soup is almost done simmering. We have about 3 minutes left, but I'm gonna go ahead and show you how this immersion blender works. So when I first got it, I tried pressing the on button and nothing happened. And I figured this button here is a lock button. So if you press this, nothing happens. And if you press this, nothing happens. You have to hold the unlock button and then press on in order for it to turn on. So you hold the unlock button, then you hold the on button, and then you can release the lock button here. And as long as you're holding this down, it will stay blending. I'll try to kind of demonstrate here. So lock button, on button, you hold the lock button and then you press the on button and it turns on. So hold the lock button, hold the on button, and then you can let go of the lock button. Also for the beans, I usually just drain the black bean soup. I don't rinse it. I just drain the excess liquid. This doesn't look like there's whole black beans in here, but I promise there are. And then the kidney beans, I do kind of rinse these. I drain the liquid and then I add some water. I only peel the lid partially. Bless you. Bless you. I only peel the lid back partially and I put some water in here. I kind of hold the lid down, I shake it a little bit, dump out the water, and I do that a few times just to kind of rinse off the kidney beans. But these ones I do not rinse. So after we blend, we're gonna add the beans and the corn. The recipe originally calls for 1 cup of corn. I like to add a little bit more than that, like 1.5 to 2 cups for the non-doubled recipe. So I'm probably gonna add like 3 cups to mine since I am doubling it, but obviously you can add as much or as little corn as possible, or as you like, but I personally really like this, and it's a good way for me to eat a vegetable because I don't really like a lot of them. So anyway, looks like it's about time for us to blend, so I'm gonna go ahead and take this off the heat. I'm just gonna slide it over to this burner that is not on, but you can also use like a thing to put it on if you're putting it on your counter. Luckily, I have an outlet right here, so I'm just gonna go ahead and slide this off of the heat and blend this, and then we will be putting it back onto the heat once we add the beans and the corn. I also changed my sweatshirt to a gray one because I was wearing white, and this and white clothing just didn't seem to make sense. So we're gonna go ahead and blend this now. So now this is completely blended and it's a super smooth liquidy texture. We're gonna go ahead and put this back onto the heat. So I'm just going to slide this back this way. The pot is really hot, so be careful. I'm gonna kind of turn my heat down a little bit. But we're gonna go ahead and add our beans and our corn, and basically we're just going to let these ingredients kind of warm up, and they're already cooked, obviously. We just need them to warm up. So once they are combined and the soup is nice and warm, then you're basically done. So the soup is about ready to eat, which is good because I'm so hungry. But I want to show you guys the bowl that I'm using. I got these from Amazon. I absolutely love these bowls. So they have a slant to them, as you can see. So they're super good for soup or ramen or salad. They just make it very easy to eat, and I think they look really cute. So I have the larger ones, but this brand also makes smaller ones, and I'm kind of considering getting the smaller ones too. But these are absolutely fantastic. I will link them down below in case you guys are interested in them. They are so good. We've literally used these non-stop. They're fantastic. And then my ladle is also from Amazon, so I can link that for you guys as well. It's super long. Like, it's almost like longer than I need it to be, but I like that it has this little bend in it so that it never gets lost in the stock pot, because I have a very large stock pot, and I got this from Marshall's, I think, so I can't link this one exactly unless I can find it on Amazon, but it's David Burke, B-U-R-K-E is the brand. So I'm just gonna kind of stir this, let it sit for another minute or so, and then it'll be time to eat. Also, like I said, I use the reduced fat Fiesta blend cheese. I actually had this one open in the fridge already, so I'm gonna go ahead and use this one. This one is not the reduced fat. I accidentally bought the regular, but either one is good. We just like the reduced fat because it's a little bit lower calorie, but I add some of this on top and a little bit of light sour cream. I like Daisy, it's my favorite. So I like to add those on top. And then I also like to have some of these on the side. So the soup is pretty healthy, at least from what I can tell. Obviously, like, this is the unhealthy part. The soup is mostly just vegetables and beans and tomato and spices, but this is the less healthy part, but this is just the topping, so it's okay. So I love to use the original Fritos little strips. They are so good with this soup, along with the sour cream and cheese. So I'm gonna go ahead and pour some soup in my bowl and kind of make it look all cute, and we will do a taste test, even though I know that I love this, but I'll still taste it with you guys. Okay, so I realized that I forgot to put salt and pepper in the soup, but that's okay. I have some here. We'll just put it on top, like, after the fact. I'm sure there's plenty of sodium and seasoning in the chili powder, the cayenne, the cumin, and the oregano, as well as the chicken broth and all that, but just because it's part of the recipe, we'll go ahead and add some salt and pepper. So let's go ahead and give it a taste test. I already know it's gonna be so good, but just so we can have the first bite together, I'm gonna get a little bit of sour cream, a little bit of cheese. Look at that, like, stringy cheese. I don't even know if you can see that, but here we go. It is so good. Literally so good. I put a lot of cayenne in there, which makes it super spicy. So if you don't like spice, skip the cayenne or add a little bit. I love cayenne, so I would probably put 1 to 2 teaspoons of cayenne in the regular serving, like not the non-doubled recipe. I'd probably put about 2 teaspoons of cayenne, but again, that's just because I love spicy food. I use that along with the spicy chicken broth, but this is so good, you guys. It's it's so good. And I also forgot to mention, I don't really eat a lot of meat. I'm not a fan of chicken, really, unless it's like chicken nuggets, then I'll eat chicken. But other than that, I don't really eat any chicken. But you can shred up a rotisserie chicken and add that in when you add like the beans and corn at the end, just to kind of like warm it up. Or you can cook your own chicken breast and shred it. That's what the original recipe calls for, I believe, but I don't use chicken, so I just skip that part completely. But this is still really good. So I guess I was gonna say this might be vegetarian, but it has chicken stock in it. If you use vegetable stock instead, or vegetable broth, whichever one it is, I honestly don't even know the difference. Then I think it might be vegetarian. Definitely not vegan, because there's cheese and sour cream. Maybe it is vegetarian. Can vegetarians eat chicken broth? Because does it have chicken in it, or is it just like a, I don't know. I don't know the rules to all that kind of stuff, but if you don't eat meat, you don't eat dairy, then just substitute chicken broth for vegetable broth and use like a vegan or like plant-based cheese and sour cream, and then you're good to go. It's literally so good. I also make sure when I'm like starving myself, I scoop from the bottom, because That's where all like the beans and stuff are. So I scoop from the bottom to keep like the ratio good. And most of like the liquid is on top, but you still get a lot of liquid when you scoop from the bottom. Random, probably not necessarily common, but just thought I would mention that. And yeah, that's about it. I'm like slouching over because when I sit up properly, my head is cut off, but that's gonna be it for today's video. I'm going to finish my soup and watch some Cypher PK. I'm watching his Twitch stream right now. If you don't know what that is, he's a Fortnite streamer, so I'm watching him play Fortnite. I love Fortnite. I know I've said that on my channel before, but I love it so much. I even stream Fortnite sometimes on Twitch. If you guys aren't following me on Twitch, you totally should. I will have my Twitch linked down below. It's actually always linked down below, but anyway, that's gonna be it. I hope you all enjoyed. If you did, please don't forget to subscribe and give this video a thumbs up. I love you all so much. Let me know if you make this recipe and if you like it. And yeah, I hope you all have a wonderful day, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.